Hello, welcome to another vlog. Now this really is a shorter than usual one because it's something that I recorded when I went to visit a very pretty town in East Sussex, Lewes. I went there for the movies and I started editing it, but it was a week after our beloved Queen died, so I didn't think it appropriate. I got enough flack for doing the live, may I tell you, that Sunday. So with the best intentions of always from me, I just wanted to cheer people up. So I decided not to put a vlog up this Sunday just before she was buried. So this is one that I prepared earlier. As I said, it's shorter, but I hope you enjoy it. Hello. Some of you have seen Lewes before, but I've had so little to show you in the last week that I'm going to show you a bit of Lewes on a beautiful Saturday. I had to think then, Saturday afternoon. I was supposed to come here with my new male friend. He bought the tickets. Unfortunately, he had a family emergency. So he sent me the tickets and I came on my own and I watched, he said, the same as me, Timothy Spall. He's got to be in a good movie. It was called It Snows in Benidorm. It's quite weird. There were two women really slating it in the ladies. I thought it was stunningly brilliant script-wise. Very slow, bit of weird plot, bit of weird sexual scenes. Have a read of people's reviews, but brilliant script. And apparently Timothy Spall said in an interview that when they were filming there in the winter, it did actually snow in Benidorm. So I'll show you the art cinema I've been to, which I love, in Lewes, which is near Brighton. Then I'll take you around town while I do some tours. I didn't realise there was an art show in Lewes, and look, it's my lovely Iris, and you've met her.
I have. What an experience. She has an amazing apartment in Park Avenue, and I arranged to go and take her some of my jewellery, and she greeted me in her dressing gown. But I wondered if she knew I was coming. But yes, she'd been filmed by for her documentary the night before.
Oh, when was this? How long ago?
This would have been, I think, in 2014.
Oh,
and
101 now.
Yes.
I'm so lucky I have all the clothes you designed for H&M. Well, some of them. This is actually where I'm heading. Not very glamorous, is it? But Argus take Brita water filters that you've used. So that's a nice eco moment. And for anyone who knows Bill's, this is where Bill, who I've met briefly during lockdown, opened his first restaurant. The chain has now been taken over by the Ivy lot. And in case you're wondering why I'm not moving to this beautiful town, I've been warned by people who live in Brighton and Hove in particular, who worked here all their working lives, that the winters are bitter, far colder and damper than Brighton and Hove by the sea. Probably because of the river and because they're under the downs. Also, the place was where they burnt loads of witches. Has the most famous bonfire. Oh, I'll put the link below. Yes, the best bonfire this night. 2 nights. You need to spend 2 nights here in Britain. It's not very exciting where I'm walking, is it? But so many witches were burnt in the, I guess, 15th, 16th, 17th century, that I'm told by anyone who's really sensitive to, you know, things, sensitive to energy, that it's a really bad energy. I know people who've moved here because they love it like me and think, oh, it's got everything, art, cinema, beautiful little independent shops. Bad energy. They all moved back to Brighton. Last little glimpse of Lewes. I'm taking you down a Twitton. That's what we call these little alleyways in Sussex. And I think other areas, but definitely Sussex. This is a Twitton. Where it comes out, I have no idea. I might have to walk all the way back and walk up the hill again to where my car's parked. Ah, isn't this gorgeous? Ah, it's quite hard to get lost. You see, look at the, show you. Look how close the hills are. The hills and the cliffs. So after what I was saying about it being a bad energy, that's what they say. I have to say as well, people aren't as friendly here. Brighton is unbelievably friendly. I've never known anywhere like it. Every shop, everyone you meet, just couldn't be friendlier. Nothing to show you apart from this gore. You know, this is flint. For those who don't know what this material is, it's very, very, very old. And again, very East Sussex. And I think West Sussex. Flint. Oh, I think we're at the back of the station. Oh, I've done a full circle. This is the back of the station where I parked my car. £7 for the day. Ridiculous, isn't it? Anyway, better rush back to poor little Jack. Well past his feeding time. Right, we're going to creep up on Jack again. I left him at 1:15. It's now coming up to 6 o'clock. Oh dear, I'll be in trouble with YouTube. I've left the music on for him. Where is he? There he is with his little nappy on. Hello, darling. How are you? Have you been a good boy? Yes, yes. Are you ready for your food? Yes, yes. I'm here now. We'll go out for a walk. Right, this isn't a shameless plug, but I know from when I did the live how many of you just want to ask me questions about myself and what I think and how I eat and how I live. So I'm including this. It's not the most brilliant quality, but I was interviewed by, right, I better check this, Quick Book Reviews. and the lovely Philippa Hall. Well, she is a book reviewer. Her podcast is all about books. So obviously she was going to mostly ask me about the book. So I've cut all of that out. But what you will find out, which I hope you enjoy, it's very short, is what I recommend to people well over 60 in the way of exercise and lifestyle, because there's certain things that our bodies can't cope with. And we discuss ageism and how very unhealthy I can be. Or I should say, how very unhealthy I can be. So I hope you enjoy that. And I will put the link for the full-length podcast below when I know that you can hear it. Well, I'll put the link to Philippa so that you can subscribe and listen to all her. She does brilliant book reviews, and she also does some 5-minute questions at the end, which is what this was taken from, except it went on for 10 minutes and I've cut it down to 5. So I hope you enjoy. That it's not a lecture, it's not a how-to, it's sort of 80% of this is how you should really enjoy and get the best out of your lifestyle and eating habits, but 20%, for goodness sake, is a little of what you fancy, because otherwise life's really, really boring. So I think I try and get that perfect balance of work-life, healthy balance. Sorry, I'm wittering away now.
No, not at all. You do it in this wonderful way. You're not telling us what to do. You're not being a headmistress. You're just encouraging us along the way and helping us like a friend.
I'm trying to, and I do that with my friends, and they probably hate me for it. But I think, what you put in your body is just as important as how you move your body. I mean, especially nowadays, they're now calling, scientists and doctors are calling sitting the new smoking. So I hope, without lecturing people, I can encourage people to build. See, I don't think you need to have extremes. I like intermittent fasting. It doesn't suit everyone. So, I'll give you all the information, but there's an easy way of doing it. You don't have to starve. You don't have to go hungry. You intermittent fast when you go to sleep at night. Mm-hmm. So it's little things like that. I try and make it really easy. When you're my age, over 70, you cannot suddenly start skipping because of your knees and do 20 minutes of skipping a day on a hard floor. So my version would be jump on a rebounder. You can get a little mini trampoline really cheaply and bounce. It's really good for your joints. It's really good for your bones, especially as you get older, but you still get the workout. So that's what I try and do. Bring little things in that is acceptable for anyone of any age, without being silly. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And something like that just sounds like it brings you some joy as well. It's not a hard grind. It's just some fun. You're more likely to keep doing it.
Absolutely. I actually wrote and complained, that's where social media is very useful, to the people I do my online Pilates with, because I have been doing Pilates every morning for half an hour because they've got a half an hour class. Now, it's got to be better to do 5 days a week, half an hour, than waiting for my one class on a Friday night. Let's face it, very few of us manage to do it 3 times a week for an hour. So I was doing it once a week for an hour, and now they've taken my half an hour classes away. So it's little. That's why I like Dr. Michael Mosley. It's little and often. You don't have to go and do 10,000 steps all at once, or march up a hill for an hour, or hike for an hour. You do what your body can cope with and what your age limits are, or your body limits are, and try and make it easy. But we don't have to sit all the time. We can keep moving, but keep it simple.
And when we're not moving, we might be looking at bookshelves. So I have a question for you about bookshelves that I often ask. Do you like your books to be organised by the alphabetical name of the author or by colour?
Do you know, I'm glad you added alphabetical name of the author. My memory, which has got worse, but has always been appalling. I used to have to write names on my hands when I was interviewing people 30 years ago. So it's no good having it by name of author, because I wouldn't remember half the time. I like pretty. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I want my books to look pretty. Look at yours. That's just a joy to behold. And I find my books really easily. I have my fiction on one shelf and my non-fiction on another. And I discover old friends if I spend 5 minutes looking for something. What's wrong with that?
Absolutely. The next question, and yes, I don't know what answer you're going to give to this, but I will ask the question as I always ask it. What food and drink did you consume the most when you were writing this particular book?
The first version, probably way too many curries, takeaway curries, delivered to my door because I didn't have time to cook, despite writing all these they were vegetarian curries, I hasten to add. But while I was writing all about healthy food, I did do my smoothie every morning, but I would have a reward at the end of the day. And the curry probably went with a beer or a big glass of red wine. And I probably drank way too much coffee, didn't move enough, certainly didn't drink enough water. I think when I rewrote great big sections of it, the most recent version, I think I was a lot better by then. Because as you get older, great news, folks, as you get older, you're too young, it hasn't affected you yet. But the mid-50s, mid-60s, definitely late 60s, it happens to men as well. You can't drink the same amount in the evening and have a good night's sleep. It just doesn't happen. I'm sure you know people that's happened to. So it wasn't just a case of I'm writing a book about health, I must be healthy. It was just that my body now tells me it doesn't like too much sugar, it doesn't like too much alcohol. It's just little. It really has turned into a little of what you fancy.
That's not boring. That's not boring. Now, your last question. What's been the most memorable moment in your social media influencing career so far?
I think it's got to be because I'm so against the term anti-aging, for starters, that I'd have it taken out of the first version of alternative aging. Hate the word anti-aging. We're anti-war, we're anti-poverty, we're anti-cruelty. Why on earth are we anti-aging? And so therefore I'm very, very against any form of ageism. So when I think the first, there have been many since, but the first time I was invited on a shoot for, I think it was Revolution Makeup, they wanted somebody older, over 60, and they had a representation. Now, it still annoys me that there's only one of each, but, you know, it's got so much better. There was one person of colour, there was one transsexual, there was one with a disability, there was one old lady, that was me, and there was, you know, every single nuance was catered for, and I think it's so important, and so many brands have followed suit since then. It thrills me with delight, and, you know, it happened long before Black Lives Matter, and I was really proud to be part of that campaign, and so thrilled that there's more and more. I mean, I hardly ever see a commercial on TK Maxx. Everything has got an older person in it, and about bloody time.
Yes, quite right too. Well,
so I do hope you enjoyed that little snippet of the interview. I'll put all the details below for you so that you can listen to more book reviews. My goodness, it's turning into movie reviews and book reviews. Now, you know that I get sent an awful lot of free stuff. I hasten to add that nothing in this vlog is an ad or paid for collaboration. I only share the things with you that I truly love and pay for myself. Now, not all these are paid for, but they're things that I would buy. So the first, I don't know if I've mentioned this to you before, but you're always commenting on my face, which is very sweet of you. All I can see is this great big chin. I'm going to ask Dr. Ahmed about that soon. But skin is definitely very good, and I haven't had a facial for ages, well, about 6 weeks. I am using, they very kindly, Medic 8. I haven't started on the retinol yet because I've still got my old one that I got from Dr. Ahmed, but I'm using their day and night cream, which I mix or put on with Factor 50. And they've got a fabulous eye cream. Don't forget, with eye creams, you just put it there, not there. not on the baggy bits. I think, can you see? I think they're much improved. Much improved. Kind like today. Ooh, I like a cloudy day. So for these I can thoroughly recommend, and you can get them online and at beauticians and all sorts of places. Medicates, I'll put the link below. And then via my agent, I got all sorts of Yves Saint Laurent stuff. Very nice presents. It's like Christmas in this house. My two favourites from it are this lipstick. Isn't that a gorgeous design? And it's a nice, I was going to use the word nebulous, that's not right, neutral. It's a nice neutral colour, isn't it? So that's going in my bag when I'm not particularly fussed about matching lipstick to an outfit. And of course, they're, how do I describe this? Classic, legendary. They're legendary touche éclat. I'm not going to put this on now, but you, I'm sure, all know about touche éclat. Touche éclat. I hope I pronounced that right. It's for under the eye, and I can't do this with you so far away. You're too far away. Come in. But you know, you tap. You don't pull it like I was doing. Tap, 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 tap. Everything goes around here, and then you don't get puffy eyes. So those. Oh, and one more thing. Food. You know, I shared that salt from Cornwall with you. I'll put the link below again. Well, I guess you can buy them. They sent me a whole package of samples of all their salts. Now again, if you've got high blood pressure, do not take any notice of me. I'm very lucky I've got low. Let me get you a bit lower, talking of low. That's better. But I get to try all these salts. I'm very excited. Roasted garlic and sea salt. That was the one that I used in that recipe a few vlogs back. It was a Cuban recipe. Lemon, thyme, lemon and thyme. Oh, I love that. Chili hit. Oh, I just love it. Plain crystals. Salt and pepper. Roasting salt. Oh, I can't read it. I need Mexican. Smoked flakes. And lemon and pepper. I tried that last night on lots of roasted vegetables. In fact, I tried 3 last night. Made the food taste so delicious and didn't have to get herbs out. And you need very little. Don't need to go bonkers with salt. So those are my 3 favourite things that I've received recently, and I like to share them with you. So let me know what you think. So all I need to do now is to say thank you very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. It means the world to me that our little audience is growing and growing. Please pass on the word. Pass the word on. Share me. Yes, let's see our tribe grow. I'm always saying that. Don't forget to ting the bell so you know when I've put something up, because I might start doing shorts more often. That's the new, I didn't know why it's taken me so long to catch on to this, but shorts are the new stories for those of you who are on Instagram. So I hope you will keep an eye out for those. Then especially when I'm in Scotland, I can just pop in and say hello. In fact, I think I'm in Scotland I'm still there in Inverness while you're watching this. Oh, and I hope you didn't mind the H&M clothes, but I know we've got new subscribers and they might not be on Instagram, and some of you watching might not be on Instagram. So I had to put the Iris thing up because I discovered the woman who made some of her jewellery in Lewes. I mean, that was astonishing. So I hope you don't mind. It was portrait shaped, and because of the music, I couldn't use what I put on Instagram, and I couldn't do the normal background so it doesn't look so horrid. So I hope you could see it all right. Please forgive me. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you very soon.